Tonight, Troy students learn about the Civil War.
Plus a town hall meeting on campus. Stay tuned. Troy TrojanVision Nightly News starts now.
From the high-definition digital production center on the Troy campus, with news from Troy University locations around the world, this is Troy TrojanVision Nightly News.
Hello and welcome to Troy TrojanVision Nightly News for April 3rd, 2012. I'm Judson Garner.
And I'm Bailey Majors. Thank you for joining us this evening. A pair of off-campus sexual assaults and an armed robbery on campus has heightened concerns about the safety among Troy students. Well, last night, university and city officials met with students at a town hall meeting to give them information not only about the incidents, but how to stay safe. Deatra Montgomery has the details.
Students usually gather in Sartain for sporting events and fun activities. However, on Monday afternoon, the cause for the crowd was a bit more serious. With the crimes happening on and around campus, Troy University officials had a chance to explain all the facts.
Over the last 7 days, we had 3 incidents that have occurred. The initial incident occurred last Monday, March the 26th, out at Hunters Mountain. A young lady was sexually assaulted. Of course, she was sexually assaulted. Initially, that was the only incident that we had to occur. However, this past Saturday, on March the 31st, the city police were notified of a second sexual assault that occurred on the same day the first one did, but occurred approximately 3 or 4 hours after the initial one. And so they're currently investigating that one. And then also on Saturday night, Sunday morning around 1:20 a.m., we had a student that was a victim of an armed robbery on campus on University Avenue.
The town hall meeting gave Troy students an opportunity to express their feelings about the series of events.
I'm definitely uneasy with the heightened incidents. It just seems like more and more are happening, and there's a lot of uncertainties.
It definitely concerns me. I am a little more fearful just walking around.
It's kind of making things become a little bit of reality that Troy is probably not as safe as it used to be.
With the crimes on and around campus going on, many people, including Troy University students, are very concerned. However, Herbert Reeves does inform us that the police are doing the best they can to keep us safe.
Both police departments, in an effort, especially with this, are beefing up their patrols and their security, especially in areas where we have large populations of students. In summary, I would certainly stress those safety things that we've talked about. These are all things that people should be doing whether we have these incidents or not.
Deatra Montgomery, Troy TrojanVision News.
There is a $10,000 reward for anyone who has information leading to the arrest and conviction of the person or persons responsible for the Hunters Mountain sexual assaults. If you have any information, you are asked to call Troy Police at 566-0500 or the Secret Witness Line at 566-5555.
April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and Troy University's SAVE project is spreading the word about the problem of sexual assault, which, as Christina Cook tells us, has become more prevalent on the minds of students in light of recent events.
According to the U.S. Department of Justice's National Crime Victimization Survey, one sexual assault happens every 152 seconds, or about one every 2 minutes. Troy University's SAVE Project organization took the time on Tuesday to raise awareness of sexual assault.
Today we're handing out bracelets for free on the quad to raise awareness about Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and we also have some information and literature about what sexual assault is and how you can stay safe on campus. Sexual assault is any unwanted physical contact committed by force, and it's really important for students to realize, what constitutes itself as sexual assault.
The SAVE Project allows students the opportunity to become more aware of the many dangers of sexual assault.
I do feel scared to go out late. I be power walking back to my room, looking and stuff, but I don't feel it's safe out there because they haven't caught them or whatever. But first we would not go out during dark and be out there hanging out. You be safe, and just watch who you're around, watch your surroundings.
In light of the recent events, many Troy students would like to know what steps to take in order to protect themselves from sexual assault.
Sexual assault can happen any time of the day. It's not just a crime in the evenings. It can happen in the afternoon. The best thing is to use basic common sense and safety skills. Basic common safety precautions such as locking your doors, locking your windows, locking your car doors, as well as using a buddy system. If you are going to exercise or jog or go to the gym, it's always a good idea to take someone with you. Let someone know when you are leaving and when you're expected back as well.
Christina Cook, Troy, TrojanVision News.
The SAVE project will be back on the quad tomorrow from 10 to 2. Well, Bailey, last night some Troy University students got a history lesson about one of the worst battles in the Civil War.
That's right, Judson. It was the 4th installment of the Making Sense of the American Civil War Forum. Rachel Scarborough has the story.
Over 150 years ago, the Confederates were in battle with the Union, and on Monday night, Troy University students were able to learn a little bit more about a major battle that they fought.
Tonight's discussion, we were talking about Antietam or Battle of Sharpsburg, depending on how you look at it. It's the worst battle the United States has ever fought in as far as casualties, and that's what we were dealing with tonight, a battle that was devastating to our population north and south, and also it ended up being a turning point in the war.
Students were able to gain knowledge about the battle through a book that was discussed in class.
Well, tonight we're discussing the book Antietam, Crossroads of Freedom by James McPherson, a discussion of the events leading up to the battle and what kinds of influences there were that affected the meaning of the war and the meaning of that battle.
Students feel that they are able to learn a little bit more at the forum than they would in a regular classroom.
Well, we get a little bit more in depth in this than we would in our regular classroom because you're only in your regular class for about 50 to an hour, and we get to cover deeper topics like war strategies and just like different lifestyles, and it's just a lot more rich than just like your typical class.
For a history student, it's kind of inspirational just getting with some people, who are more aged in the history of the Civil War, and it's just kind of it's a good thing to come to if you want to learn.
And there was no need for people to sit there quietly. There were a few discussion ideas to get the conversation started.
On each table is a list of discussion points. These are questions or comments that I give them, in this case ahead of time, that gives them a guide on how to think about the book as they're reading it. And then at these meetings they get together and they discuss those points and what their opinions are on key points of the book.
Rachel Scarborough, Troy, TrojanVision News.
The next forum will be on April 30th in Howe Hall at 6:30.
And now taking a look at news from around the state. In Montgomery, the Alabama legislature is looking at furloughing its employees to cope with cuts in the state general fund budget. A Senate committee voted Tuesday to authorize Senate Secretary Pat Harris to implement furloughs of up to two days per month if necessary. House Clerk Greg Papa says he already has the authority to do that in the House.
And in Camden, a Wilcox County man has been sentenced to 15 years in prison for a drive-by shooting that caused a 9-year-old girl to lose an eye. District Attorney Michael Jackson said 23-year-old Tommy Portis pleaded guilty to first-degree assault and was sentenced by Circuit Judge Jack Meeks.
And in Phoenix City, an Alabama sheriff says 3 inmates used an iron bar and a ladder left behind by construction workers to break out of jail. The 3, including one who was convicted of murder, escaped from the Russell County Jail Thursday night. All 3 have been recaptured.
Still to come on Troy TrojanVision Nightly News, the Trojan softball team is on the road to face off an in-state rival. Daniel Purcell will be in next with all the details and next in sports.
But first, a shooting rampage at a Christian college has left at least 7 dead. We'll have more on that after the break.
Hands can do incredible things. Now they can even help save a life with hands-only CPR. If you see an adult suddenly collapse, just call 911, then push hard and fast in the center of the chest until help arrives. Learn more at handsonlycpr.org.
From the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University, You're watching the award-winning TrojanVision Nightly News.
And now for a look at what's happening across the nation and around the world, we'll go to Judson Garner at the Global News Desk. Judson.
Thanks, Bailey. At least 7 people are dead and 3 others wounded after a shooting rampage at a Christian college in Oakland, California. Police have interviewed the suspect and say he's being cooperative. Bigad Shaban reports investigators say the gunman came to campus looking to hurt people.
Gunshots could be heard outside a Christian college in Oakland, California. Police say the gunman stood up in a classroom at Oikos University Monday morning and started shooting.
I heard a gunshot sound, like down, 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 and then right after that I heard like one woman scream.
Dishan Wangzam was finishing a test when she heard gunshots.
It's like unforgettable.
She quickly locked the door to her classroom so the gunman couldn't get in.
If I didn't lock the door, I think we might be dead today.
Police rushed to the scene and surrounded the campus. Officers worked to rescue people trapped inside and pulled victims out on chairs and stretchers. Crime lab investigators and a canine unit are still here at the college. They worked overnight collecting evidence. Oakland Police Chief Howard Jordan says the suspect, 43-year-old Juan Go, was expelled from the school and came back to campus with a grudge against an administrator.
He came here specifically to find people that were causing him problems. He did not find who he was looking for, and he basically went through the school on a shooting rampage.
This is the deadliest school shooting in 5 years.
No American mayor wants to have this situation. It seems over the last decade, we've gotten used to seeing senseless mass killings like this, and we'll have to question availability of guns.
Oikos caters to the area's Korean community. The mayor says its members are in pain and will gather for a memorial tonight to honor the victims. Bigad Shaban, CBS News, Oakland, California.
Republicans in 2 states in Washington, D.C. are heading to the polls for the latest round of primaries. Republican frontrunner Mitt Romney stands to add to his lead in the delegate count. But Rick Santorum is still confident that voters want an alternative to the former governor. Danielle Nottingham reports from Washington.
Voters in Maryland, D.C., and Wisconsin are casting ballots. There are 95 delegates at stake in today's primaries. 42 of them are in Wisconsin, where Mitt Romney and Rick Santorum are locked in a 2-man race. Romney led the polls heading into today's contest as he gathered endorsements from some high-profile Republicans. He virtually ignored his GOP rival, focusing his attacks on President Obama.
This president doesn't want to take responsibility for his mistakes.
The former governor's doing well enough on the campaign trail that he's drawing fire from the Obama campaign. They're airing TV ads knocking down his record in key states. Romney is expected to do well here in Washington, D.C. and Maryland. Santorum didn't campaign hard in either contest, and his name isn't even on the ballot in D.C. The former senator is trailing in the delegate count and has less money in the bank, but he's brushing aside calls for him to drop out of the race.
I think it would be an energizing thing for our party. A candidate emerge who isn't the blessed candidate of the Republican establishment.
He'll watch tonight's returns from his home state of Pennsylvania. New poll numbers there have him 6 points ahead of Romney. He'll need to hold on to that for 3 more weeks to capture the must-win state. Danielle Nottingham, CBS News, Washington.
And that'll wrap things up from the Global News Desk. To see more stories from across the country and around the world, you can tune into Trojan Vision Global News right after the nightly news. Now, back to you, Bailey.
Thank you, Judson. And now Danielle Percival joins us with sports. So, Danielle, we have 2 Trojan teams in action tonight.
Well, that's right, Billy. Both baseball and softball will be in action tonight. And actually, softball has already begun, so let's get into that right now. Leading things off, the softball team is playing the first of 2 games for the Trojans in Birmingham tonight against UAB. Now, it's not a doubleheader for softball, but baseball is also in town to battle the Blazers. The Trojan softball team is coming off their first conference series win of the year and looking to build on that 2-game win streak. However, they are hitting pause on conference play for a midweek in-state rival game. The Trojans and the Blazers began play at 4 o'clock this afternoon, and at last check, it was still scoreless heading into the bottom of the 5th inning. Pitcher Ashley Rainey is on the mound for the Trojans and has already thrown 3 strikeouts. Troy will continue its road trip this weekend when they take on Western Kentucky to take on the Hilltoppers. And as I mentioned earlier, the baseball team is also in the Magic City tonight for a rematch against UAB. Earlier in the season, the Trojans and the Blazers played at Riddle Pace Field, and an error-filled night for the Trojans left them battling from behind. The Blazers took the game by a final of 9-7, so the Trojans just might have revenge on their minds. Now, Troy is also on a 2-game skid, so the redemption might also play a factor. Saturday night, the Trojans put 7 pitchers on the mound out of the bullpen, and head coach Bobby Pierce knows pitching will be key tonight.
To kind of regroup, we did stretch our bullpen out quite a bit other than Thomas, so Thomas might get quite a bit of time in the UAB game, but we're going to have to kind of rest some guys that we stretched this weekend and have them ready for the following weekend down in Miami.
The Trojans and the Blazers square off tonight at 6:30 in Birmingham. The Trojan men's golf team entered today's competition sitting tied for 4th place in the ASU Red Wolf Intercollegiate. But the big story for the Trojans was Ricky Casco's performance on Monday. Casco ended the day tied for first with a 1 over par 72 first round and improved to 4 under par with 6 birdies in the second round. At last check, Casco was tied for 5th during the final round of play. The track and field team continued their success this weekend at the Jaguar Invitational with a few more first-place finishes. Peyton McGee placed first in the men's 100 and 200 meters. Larry Henry placed first in the men's high jump with a distance of 2.13 meters. And Jasmine Patton finished first in the 100-meter hurdles for the women. And Thaddeus Curtis finished first in the men's 110-meter hurdles. Now, the Trojans do return to action again this weekend at the Tiger Track Classic in Auburn. Well, with March Madness over, I think we can officially say it's back to football. All right, baseball and softball are in season, and we won't forget about them. But hey, it is the South. Let's take a look at an early preview of this year's Trojan offense. After a less than stellar year in 2011, the Trojans are looking to come back strong in 2012 and started that journey Saturday at T-Day. And according to head coach Larry Blakeney, it was a good start.
We were pretty decent on offense when all those guys, all those elements are there. The running backs ran awfully good today, I thought. We blocked it pretty good up front and side.
The running game was consistent Saturday, but the receiving corps has been the area with the most questions dating back to last year. The Trojans had over 15 receivers with receptions last season and will be adding 2 former Trojans in Chip Reeves and Jamel Johnson back into the equation.
A lot of things go into Chip and Jamel. I mean, Jamel's a big, powerful guy that can run deep. Chip can go deep when they know he's going deep. And that's you know, you throw it up to him just about any time you need to.
Really great, you know, having those guys back, giving them a second chance. You know, obviously they're playmakers, as you saw here today. At any given time, you know, they can take it the whole way. Also, we got Eric and Chip and, you know, a couple of guys we had back from last year, too.
One of those players who stepped up last season was Chandler Worthy, who was thrown into the mix as a true freshman.
You know, he just about had to last year. We really would have struggled. You know, Chandler's he's a great kid.
I came in kind of fresh last year, kind of didn't know any of the plays. I had to get into it pretty fast, but now I feel like I'm in it pretty smooth and I'm going to have a pretty good year this year.
And the team as a whole is hoping to do that as well.
As far as the team together, offense and defense, you know, there's no segregation at all. You know, everybody's, you know, all together, and we're all aiming at one goal, and that's to win football games.
The Trojans hit the field this afternoon for another practice before getting ready to make their first road trip of the year. They'll play their second scrimmage Friday in Phoenix City at 6 o'clock. So while it's exciting to get ready for football and talk a little bit about the game, we've also got to remember baseball and softball on the road tonight against UAB, an in-state rival. The Trojan baseball team's already lost to the Blazers once this year, so hopefully they can fix that, and best of luck to softball taking on the Blazers as well.
Absolutely. You know, it'd be awesome to get a win. You know, best of luck to both teams.
That's right. Hopefully they can bring back some W's.
All right. Thanks, Danielle.
Thanks.
Still to come on TrojanVision Nightly News, Aaron Taylor gets to know the new leader of the SGA.
But first, we've been enjoying the sunshine and warm weather, but it seems Mother Nature may have other plans. What can we expect coming up, Bree?
We have had those warm conditions in our area with a little bit of rain, but as far as the rest of the week is concerned, I'll have that coming up next in weather.
At the heart of what we do in the College of Business is care for the student.
It's a personal thing with the students. We feel like the students are our most important asset, our most important products.
I have never been anywhere where I've known so many students on first name basis. They stop by socially to talk to.
So we understand who our students are, and we're trying to help them be better in their areas of professional work.
my colleagues and I work together to create programs that our students need.
What we try to do at Troy University is provide an experience to students that not only provide the curriculum that allows them to be successful in the business world, but we also try to expand their horizons to reach greater opportunities that maybe they didn't think they were capable of before.
From the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University, you're watching the award-winning TrojanVision Nightly News.
And now Bree Sanders joins us with weather.
So, Bree, we saw some clouds, some dark clouds creeping in on us throughout the day, and then we finally saw some rain and had some lightning too. Should we be expecting any of these kind of weather conditions later this week?
Well, after those gorgeous conditions that we've had all last week and throughout the weekend, it looks like the rain is headed into our area, but I'll get into that in just a moment. First, let's take a look at our campus snapshot. Right now on campus, we see that the sun is setting right over Bibb Graves, so whether you're headed to class or headed home from work, you can definitely go outside and enjoy your day. Current conditions right now, we have partly cloudy skies, temperatures at 76 degrees, dew points at 65 degrees, humidity is at 68%, barometers at 29.91 inches, and steady winds are coming in from the southwest from about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Today's stats, we had a high today of 82, a low of 63. There was a little bit of rain today. The sun rises at 6:28 a.m. and it should set at 7:06 p.m. Temperatures around the state. Overall, the state is experiencing some low 80 degree temperatures. Mobile coming in at 80, Huntsville at 82, Birmingham with 79, Montgomery with 83, Troy with the lowest at 76, as well as Dothan at 74, and Phoenix City at 79. Looking at our temperatures across the southeast in our area, we're experiencing some upper 70-degree temperatures here in the Birmingham area, and as we move throughout the rest of the southeast, those temperatures decrease just a little bit into about the upper 60s there in the Carolinas, Florida in the mid-80s, as well as certain parts of Texas. Temperatures overall throughout the United States here on the East Coast, we see they're in the mid-30s, upper 40s right now, a lot cooler than what we're experiencing in our area. Current surface map. Nothing too much going on in our area. A little bit of rain systems right here through the west part of our state, but we do have that cold front coming in from the Texas area, possibly pushing some rain into our area over the next couple of days, so you may want to look out for that. Taking a closer look at our area, like I said, a few light winds, nothing too much going on. Looking at our precipitation forecast for the next 48 hours, it looks like in our area, our state as a whole will be covered in rain, about half an inch to an inch of rain or so, very heavy, so you may want to pull that rain gear out just to keep dry. As we move into tomorrow, that rain continues to stay in our area, as well as Thursday. It lightens up just a little bit, and on Friday it seems like it tries to move back out of our area here, giving us about a 40% chance of rain, but on Saturday that rain clears back out of our area and gives us a beautiful weekend ahead to look forward to. Tonight's forecast, we have partly to mostly cloudy skies, thunderstorms early, light winds coming in from the south-southwest at about 5 miles per hour with a low of 62 degrees. So much like last night, tonight will be very mild outside. Nothing much to worry about there except a little bit of rain in our area. For tomorrow's forecast, we have partly cloudy skies early in the morning, thunderstorms in the afternoon, about a 40% chance of rain, winds coming in from the west at about 5 miles per hour with a high of 84 degrees. So tomorrow will be much like today, a very beautiful day outside with a little bit of rain in our area, about a 40% chance of thunderstorms. So like I said earlier, you may want to get that rain gear out of your closet just to keep on hand for tomorrow, just to stay dry. Looking at our 4-day forecast as we head into Wednesday, the high will be 84 degrees, about a 40% chance of thunderstorms, a low of 67. Moving into Thursday, we have that high of 78, a low of 60 with that 60% chance of that scattered thunderstorms in our area. On Friday, that high gets to 76 with a low of 53, and on Saturday, that high gets to 79. So, Judson, you asked me about the rain earlier, and it does look like it will be in our area for the next 2 or 3 days, but as we head into our weekend, it should clear out and give us a beautiful weekend ahead.
All right, thanks a lot, Bree.
You're welcome.